Hey, this is Politics with Laura, to where everything is politics. Whether if it's here locally in the US or if it's international, you will get the true news because I use newspapers from around the world. Politicians here or politicians over there, or if there's a war here or a war over there, I would make sure that you know about it. As you can see, we're going to walk up this nice, beautiful country road. However, as we walk up the road, we're going to see a fight. Trump is fighting the unseen hand. Now, it appears that the District Attorney of Manhattan, DA Alvin Braggs, now he decides that he's going to charge Trump for something that occurred, he states, in 2020 election. Well, not only does he have his facts incorrect, this happened back in 2015, and I don't think Mr. Braggs is aware that the statutes of limitations are up. But however, that is if he did make a mistake or he did what he's being charged or alleged that he has done. Now, if that were true, he would have been put in jail back then, even before he became president. So, to me, this is simply to me. And don't get what I'm saying construed as far as me being a Trump supporter. No, I support the Constitution. Now, Trump is an easy person not to like. Oh, he makes it so easy not to like him. But that's not the point. It's not about a popularity contest. It is about rule of law. And from what DeSantis is saying, and DeSantis is no, how can I say, backer of Trump. Trump and DeSantis are going against each other. But however, DeSantis knows something rather critical, is that if this can happen to Trump, then this can happen to any politician. Now, DeSantis said that George Soros was behind this. He is behind the DA in Manhattan, New York, to put charges on Donald Trump, to sidetrack him, to keep him in legal limbo. Now, you have to look back here. Go back. During Trump's presidency, Trump pissed off a lot of people that are behind the scenes. And by him coming back to run for president again, he's making them come out from being behind the scenes and to show themselves. For on one hand, bravo, Trump. The swamp is showing itself. George Soros, you in your open society, you in your sanctuary cities, these are your things. You need to pay for it. We, the taxpayers, don't need to pay anything for what you want. What you want has nothing to do with us, nor did you ask us. You're being a sneaky, slithering snake. And you need to go back to wherever you come from and stay out of the business of the United States, because we are the people, not what you want. You got it confused and backwards. However, I digress. However, DA Braggs, you got to keep in mind that the constituents put you there. You were voted in. Now that you're voted in, you're taking the pointers from a man that is not even, I allege, a citizen of this country. And even if he were, you follow the law. So if you are saying that Trump broke the law, then you need to go down there to where is it? Harlem, to where Bill Clinton is, and arrest his butt, because what he did was to an actual government employee when Bill Clinton was the governor. So what you're suggesting is that you're going to pick and choose which crime that you prosecute? No. The people did not vote you in for you to decide which crime you're going to prosecute or which person that you don't like. Mr. Braggs, you're not paid to like, you're paid to look to see if there's a crime. Now, what you're doing is you're overreaching your powers. And just as you were elected, keep in mind you can be unelected regardless of George Soros's powers. One person, one vote. Don't get it confused. The United States is a republic and not a damn democracy, as you all lie as you do. No democracy here. Now, if you want to go according to the separation of powers and delegating it, that's something different. But however, still, the Constitution stands and you're overreaching. Big time. Now, let's go ahead and check out this video. Let's check this out. Fair use, fair use. And I want to give thanks to Fox Now, live from Fox. And I'm going to put up the fair use because I don't need a strike. I'm not even monetized. Okay.
Through social, several different messages over the weekend. One that everyone's talking about is that he said he expects to be arrested on Tuesday, calling for his supporters to protest in the streets. We're going to stay in Florida for our next story with Fox 13 in Tampa.
Before we go any further, I'm telling you, Trump supporters will be out there protesting because one thing that they do know is Trump is pro-America. He's a nationalist. And please, 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 let's stop doing this stuff because you say nationalist and the person happens to be white. You assume that they are a racist. No. Stop that. Please. Use your thinking caps and dig a little deeper because the Democrats are giving this country away. Now, D.A. Braggs, if you want to get anyone for wrongdoing, you might want to check out Joe Biden. And you might want to check out the money that went to his library and that money that he got from China. That is where you really need to be because if I'm not correct, isn't that borderline treason in what he's doing? Accepting money and destabilizing a country to overthrow another country? I mean, hey, look at the news. You'll see what I'm talking about. But I digress.
Political director Craig Patrick has a very, very great summary of how we got here and what happens next. Let's watch.
The clock may be ticking for former President Trump. He thinks he's going to be indicted this week by New York prosecutors investigating his conduct around the 2020 election. In fact, President Trump predicts he will be arrested tomorrow.
His claim and potential indictment are now driving a flurry of developments from New York to Washington. Our political editor, Craig Patrick, is here to catch us up to speed on everything going on. Craig.
Well, in terms of everything, there's quite a bit. For example, in Washington, House Republicans are taking steps to investigate the investigation in Manhattan. So there's already multiple layers to this. Meanwhile, in Florida and in New York, former President Trump indeed is expecting to be indicted tomorrow. But that appears to be guesswork that's in line with a lot of the speculation we're hearing and seeing play out on camera.
It most definitely is guesswork because, again, the DA, Braggs, he's looking into it. So if Trump was going to be arrested, believe me, it would be something a little bit more. But to me, I believe, and this is simply a belief, don't take anything that I say, that don't hold any water to what I say. I'm just telling you what I think. This right here is a great smear campaign, as they did before. They threw up Stormy Daniels back then about him having an affair with Stormy Daniels. She was a chronology star. She choreographed things, and Donald Trump paid for her services to choreograph. Okay. Now, but that right there is between him and his wife, and how he spent his money. Now, how that money was spent is still between him and his accountant. Not one penny came from any campaign finances, so you all need to stop running that lie. I just want to say that.
Cable news based on the progress of the investigation. We basically, at the end of the day, don't know at this point when or if the Manhattan DA will ultimately indict Trump. However, the investigation is wrapping up and certainly appears to be leading in that direction. The Manhattan District Attorney is leading an investigation separate from the federal investigations into classified documents or the events surrounding the Capitol riots or the 2020 election, which is also being investigated by Georgia prosecutors.
Okay. Oh, man, you're still bringing up January 6th. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, look. I would suggest for all of you to look into that for yourself. Just take your time, take a step back, and research that for yourself. You're going to find some very things that are there that are very interesting. They're really trying their very best to get Donald Trump because they don't want him in office. Because if he becomes president again, that means that war over there in between the ukulele and Russian waters will stop. Because he had an understanding with Putin. Now, look. The world has gotten away with what they have gotten away with because Biden is weak and he's soft. Yeah, he is. He's weak and he's soft, and they do whatever they want. They couldn't do that to Trump because Trump is an alpha male. Whether you like it or not, he's an alpha male. And he is for the small people. Yes, he is. Regardless of what you may say, think, or feel. And that's exactly what it is. What you say, what you think, and what you feel have nothing to do with what Trump is. Just that simple. And keep in mind, I'm not a supporter of Trump. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I am an independent, and I'm observing this bull crap. All right, let's keep it going.
Manhattan DA previously convicted the Trump Organization of criminal tax fraud and is currently investigating the payment to adult film actress Stormy Daniels. She claims she had a one-night affair with Trump, and Trump denies it. Well, before the 2016 election, Trump's former attorney Michael Cohen paid Daniels $130,000 to not go public with her claims, and Trump paid Cohen.
And she came forward anyway. Look. You could look at what these women are doing now. Poor Marilyn Manson. Oh, my goodness. You got everyone under the sun is saying that he's doing everything but the work of God. Or Jesus Christ, I shall say. You got women coming out of the woodworks. Oh, he grape juiced me for 6 months. And he kidnapped me for 6 months, for 3 days. And come on, people. Let's get out of not liking him and let's look at what they're saying. Yes, Trump is a jerk to the third power times infinity and around the moon twice. Okay? Yes, he is. He is a jerk. He's a hard person to like. Yeah, he's very hard to like, but it doesn't mean he is guilty of these things. Just like people are saying that Marilyn Manson is guilty of the things that these women are saying. Now, if he were guilty, they would not be suing him for money. They would have been trying to put him in jail years ago. Why wait 10, 15 years to say he did this to me? This is damn silly. It's silly.
The same amount for, quote, legal work. So the DA may indict Trump on allegations that he falsified business records by claiming a hush money payment as legal work and that he made the payment to advance.
Keep in mind of the language what they're using. They're saying allegations. They haven't found they are saying allegedly allegations. Where is the proof? Now, this happened, 7 years ago? And you're saying that they haven't found anything in 7 years? But now that he threw his hat back in the ring to become president, now everything is coming up again? Oh, quite sneaky and suspicious. DA Braggs, you... How much did George Soros pay you? I would like to know, because keep in mind, you are a public servant, whether if you like that term or not. You serve the public. You don't serve George Soros. And George Soros, keep your butt over there in Europe and stay out of the United States business. We don't need your manipulation, your lies, or whatever you want. Okay? Stay out of our business.
His political campaign, and in doing that, concealed a campaign finance violation. And that's how a charge of falsifying business records could be elevated to a felony. Trump, expecting an arrest on Tuesday, called for protests to, quote, take our nation back, which Republican House Speaker Kevin McCarthy discouraged.
I don't think people should protest this, no.
And other leading Republicans called for any type of protest to be peaceful.
In America, you're free to protest.
Yeah.
You're not really free if you can't express yourself, but do it peacefully. Don't be a knucklehead and riot.
Yeah.
I mean, do it peacefully.
And what they're saying is absolutely correct. We still have our First Amendment rights and also the right to assembly or to assemble, no matter how much they're trying to chip away at the Constitution. And this is exactly what they're doing. They're trying to do away with the Constitution, and which will do away with the federal government. George Soros, could you please go ahead and go... Matter of fact, George, let me help you out here. Go take all that money that you have. Go buy an island, and then you go have your open society over there. You can be as open as you want, and then if people want to come and be a part of your open society, good for you. But however, stay out of our sovereign country. This is our sovereign government. This government belongs to the citizens of the United States of America and not to a dirtbag like you. Jerk.
Meanwhile, there have been discussions around New York courts in terms of how to proceed in the event of an indictment of the former president, which can be taken as evidence that this is imminent. However, they would be managing and planning for all types of contingencies, so that in itself does not necessarily mean there will be an indictment tomorrow or this week, or in fact any indictment at all.
So if Trump is indicted, how would that play out in terms of the process? Could he be extradited from Florida to New York?
He could be, but that is extremely unlikely. What will most likely occur is that the prosecutors will negotiate a surrender with former President Trump's attorneys, in which case he would voluntarily fly to New York and surrender as such. So whatever terms they negotiate, then you'd have a formal process that would involve a mugshot, fingerprints, cuffing, but then shortly thereafter a release after an arraignment awaiting trial. Now, if Trump resists, which again is very unlikely, if he resists, it could force Governor DeSantis' hand in signing off on extradition request from New York. But again, that scenario, though possible, is really unlikely.
All right, Craig Patrick, thank you.
The clock.
Okay, now keep in mind all of the language what they're using. They're talking all about all hypotheticals, allegations, nothing concrete. No one has come out and said, here's the arrest warrant, right here. Come on, Trump, come on. No, none of that. So this right here to me is a bunch of smoke and mirrors. It's a whole lot of political theater. Keep in mind, this is simply all of my opinion. Based on what they're saying, to me, doesn't make any sense. So then you're going to stop the law because he's not running for president anymore? No. If he broke the law 7 years ago, then he should have been prosecuted 7 years ago before he became the president. Now that, again, I'm reiterating myself, because these people, but I'm going to leave it there. What do you think? There's always something going on around the world, whether if it's in your backyard or someone else's backyard, it's always something. And the only thing that we could do is do the best we can to expose it and to make it better for us around the world. We don't always get it right, but we try. On that note, I would like you to like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers and then to 1,000. So help me get there, because there's always something going on around the world, and I want you to hear from here first. Thank you for stopping by.